The Pentagon fails its 7th audit in a row, but CFO says progress is being made. I'm going to go with
hang on.
bullshit.
All right. A failure, last time I checked, is still a fucking failure, man. You mean you can't pass a fucking audit and you've had 21 fucking years to do so? Hell, I would even say you failed. You're supposed to get an audit before 9/11, and you were missing $1.5 trillion.
I think it was something like 7 trillion.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
It's a really big number. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a seriously large number. It's obvious what's going on. Anybody with any brains knows what's going on. These people are playing shuffle the funds. They'll cut huge chunks to the military industrial contractors like Northrop Grumman, Brown Root, Khaki, all of those guys.
Uh-huh.
And some of it does go to Black Ops. I know everybody's out there going, Black Ops. There aren't as many Black Ops as you think there are. Those that are, the budgets are alarmingly low. And for some of the stuff that I did that was like precursor stuff for that activity, we often had to find our own shit to the point where we had to go downtown in a third world country and buy wire to make antennas.
Yep.
It's not the high budget stuff that you think. We had a couple of computers, you turn them on, it said Windows fucking NT on them.
Wow.
And that was in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's old.
Yeah, I know it was. I know it's so all of these people who think all of this money is going to the Black Ops budget, sadly, it's not. And it might to go to the top tier 1 guys. We know they have cool shit. But I also know that a lot of like Green Beret and above, and the tier 1s, they buy their own shit for the most part because the stuff that they do get is sketch.
Well,
that's what I saw.
Well, I know that they had custom radio gear.
Mm-hmm.
And the main reason for that is usually one person is carrying all the comms.
I know.
And they call it the dead body because it literally weighs as much as like another human being.
Yes. It can weigh up to 100 pounds.
Yeah. And they have all kinds of crazy whiz-bang shit in there.
Yes. And we had a lot of stuff that was improvised when Palm Pilots first came out. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Palm Pilots. One of our guys right away figured out how to patch that into one of the PRDs, the direction finding systems and listening radio systems. And then he and another couple of the weirdos in the tech shop, it's called Third Shop, went in with some of those Palm Pilots and came back out with, they had basically reduced ANPRD 13 to a Palm Pilot.
You're talking the dumb dog?
And you could hook up the antennas to it and everything. You had one that looked like a UFO.
Uh-huh.
And then one that had 4 dipoles.
Okay.
That's HFDF antenna. And they had taken the entire radio box that weighed 32 pounds or something like that and reduced it to the Palm Pilot.
Yep.
Before we went overseas.
It's fucking heavy.
Well, yeah. That's the reason the special ops community works. A lot of those guys, especially in the commo and that kind of stuff, is because they really do get good guys who really do know what they're doing. And they can fix anything with bubble gum and a rubber mallet and some 100-mile-an-hour tape.
Yep. I don't know.
But so meanwhile, that money is not going to those projects, is what I'm trying to say here in my very long-winded way tonight.
Well, we'll find out because they're going to get audited.
Yeah. It's going to contractors who give kickbacks to key senators. And then when those general officers who authorize those funds to the military contractors, when those guys retire, they get juicy slots at Khaki and Northrop Grumman and Boeing and so on and so forth. It's a revolving door thing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I know some of the guys.
I mean, I remember when I had to change from the BDUs to that new digital pattern.
Garbage. I heard those fell apart instantly.
Well, yeah. I had now typically if you're in the field for an extended period of time, your uniform will rot off your body.
Yes.
But it shouldn't rot off your body when you're working in garrison.
No.
Yeah.
No. Honestly, my opinion, one of the worst things they ever did was take away the black leather boots and iron uniforms. That was like ground zero, Mark 1, Mod 0 discipline for brand new troops.
Yep.
It was shitty and it sucked, but fuck you. Learn to polish a boot.
Iron.
Yeah, an iron.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it was the first steps in discipline. Most of these kids had never seen a boot or an iron before in their life. So it was a good first stage for actual discipline. In what would be a CFO's worst nightmare, the Department of Defense has failed its 7th audit in a row since its first in 2018. Since its first in 2018? First?
No.
What?
They've been failing audits since the late 90s.
While the consequences of audit failures have caused major issues for private businesses, the country's largest government agency, which has a 2024 budget of $824 billion,
wow,
has been given until 2028 to account for its spending. That is a long time to get people to forget everything and to shred paper, is what that is right there.
Correct.
In 2028, 3 years from now, all of the people who conducted that audit will be working at different jobs. All of the secretaries will have been changed out. All of the records will have been round filed somewhere or shredded and burned. And everybody will forget that it ever happened. This is what you're looking at, is how they drop stuff down the black hole.
Mm-hmm.
9 received an unmodified opinion. 15 received disclaimers. 1 received a qualified opinion. 3 opinions remained pending. 28 reporting entities audited within the DOD. Of the 15 disclaimers, insufficient information about the accounts was the primary reason. The agency is walking a fine line under federal law, as the CFO Act of 1990 requires all federal agencies in the executive branch to prepare auditable financial statements and undergo audits. They don't care because you can't touch them.
Yet.
That's the way it's been for a very long time.
Yeah, listen. I mean, I've gone over this so many times. These general officers need to have their power reined in. They literally get away with murder.
Yes.
And you can't tell them no. They can ruin your career on a whim, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but if you want to have a volunteer army, you need to take away the power from these officers who run the army like it was still a draftee army.
Yep. I had my career ruined by a lieutenant colonel protecting his first sergeant buddy who was fucking my ex-wife.
Yep.
He ruined my career so that his buddy could get away with cheating on
his wife with your wife.
Cheating with a wife, yeah. While I was deployed. That's the kind of shit, and that's normal stuff, man. That goes on all the time. All the time. Yep. Well, we were talking about doing a show on that today, weren't we? Earlier today?
We were talking about it, yeah.
Yeah. We gotta put that one together.
Yeah, that's some nutty shit, man.
Makes me think. Makes me get quiet and think. That's when you don't want to be around me. So the result was not a surprise, and I know on the surface it doesn't sound like we're making progress. However, that's not the case, said Michael McCord, the DOD comptroller and CFO. You're fired. I believe the department has turned a corner in its understanding of the challenges, and more importantly, in addressing those challenges, momentum is on our side. Translation, fuck you. We're not doing your fucking audit.
Well, they're gonna stall until everyone is out of office.
Yeah, rotate it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly.
I'm serious when I say that's exactly what they do. They rotate everybody out of there, and by the time the next audit comes around, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that guy's been gone for 2 years now. We don't know where he went." It's exactly how they do it. The DoD's fiscal performance is an outlier. Most federal agencies, excluding the DoD and the Department of Education, comply with the CFO Act and receive clean or qualified opinions in their audits. Critics argue that the DoD's vast and complex financial system contributes to these challenges. Still, a lack of accountability also raises concerns about the department's capacity to manage such a substantial portion of the federal budget. I will tell you this right now. In the last program that I was in, we were all handed $10,000 credit cards. And as long as the fucking bill got paid, they didn't bother us at all about them. They didn't bother us at all. We had one guy who went out and like bought himself a new stereo or something, and he got dinged for that. But otherwise, if you used it to go get fucking lunch and shit, as long as it got paid at the end of the fucking month, they didn't care.
I used to be the guy who audited all the travel cards. Is what you're talking about.
Yep.
And there's no way I was going to send an expense report for a soldier up the chain, especially if he had expenses at the Shaker Club. Or
okay, we didn't do that because we were smarter than that. You do that shit with cash, okay?
Yeah, or at the casino.
Yeah,
I was having a steak dinner at a casino.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not setting that up. You're going to eat this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, because if I send it up, then I'm going to get yelled at, and then you're going to get yelled at.
Yeah. And ass chewings are exponential. If the colonel chews the captain's ass, then the captain comes down and chews Pop's ass. By the time it gets to that soldier, the level of ass chewing has to go up at least 1.5 degrees.
Yes.
For each level that it rolls back down the hill.
So, I can't tell how many times I get on the phone like, you're just going to eat that. I know it's $138, but
yeah, you eat it.
Steak dinner with all the fixings at a casino. Fuck off. It's not happening. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. We got away with quite a bit of shit like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then we operated independently. We rarely wore uniforms, blah, blah, blah. And yeah. So there's a lot of those cards out there.
Yep.
It's a lot of that shit.
I was working as an S2, but I fell in on doing the travel card and the ATARs.
How were you doing S2 and that?
There's nobody there. Hey Pop, you're doing this, you're doing that. So I'm like doing 4 people's jobs, and I'm acting first sergeant for 3 companies. What could go wrong?
Additional duties.
Correct.
Yeah, I was the dental readiness NCO just because it was mandated that each unit had to have one.
Yeah.
So I just made everybody bring their sheet in and check it off, go away.
It wasn't that difficult. I mean,
no, it's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. They tried to give me an AAM for that, and I just kind of fucking looked at them like, go away. That's stupid. I don't want a dental readiness NCO AAM.
I just wonder what's going to do with all these generals.
I don't know. It's not our problem, though. They should just get rid of them. You know what? You are a 4-star, which means you have enough time. Retire, go fishing.
Oh, here's a story that is not really in the media, but the word on the street is that a federal judge has stricken down all of these blanket pardons done by Biden.
Yes, I saw that as well.
Especially, the judge is like, you can't pardon people if they haven't actually been charged with anything.
That is correct. And that is the basis for it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly the basis for it. What are you pardoning? Are you admitting that they have committed heinous crimes? Is that what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Because if so, well, then we need to try those crimes and then you can pardon them. Oh, wait, you already tipped your hand and your pardon doesn't count. So
if that is true, I would like to see Millie brought back on active duty.
Yeah.
Court-martialed and reduced in rank to a minimum of captain.
I would go a step further, and there wouldn't be anything under that next step.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Testing gravity with a hemp rope.
Extreme chiropractic measures.
Mm.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Millie really earned that one, in my opinion. There are others, I'm sure, but Millie in particular earned that little dance, in my opinion. So,
Opinion.
though the CFO Act does not require an unmodified opinion from an audit, the DOD, whose spending surpassed only by Social Security, there's more Social Security payments than military payments out there. That's one to think about. Failure to meet the 2020 deadline could have serious consequences, including intensified congressional oversight, reduced discretionary spending, or stricter budgetary controls or defense allocations, which translates in plain English for you out there who don't speak this garbage to a slap on the hand.
Well, I don't think Trump is going to put up with this.
I agree.
He's not going to be, oh, you want me to wait till my term is over?
Yeah.
No, we're doing this shit now.
I agree. I hope our new SecDef does the same thing. I hope he steps up and starts stomping a hole in their asses.
Yeah,
Because
and he
really,
hasn't. The SecDef. What's that? Hegseth is his name.
Hegseth, yes.
So his highest rank was a major, so he didn't go to war college yet, where they get their first brainwashing enema.
That's when you go to war college.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you go to war college, when you pick up major. There's two war colleges. There's the barracks at New Jersey, at Fort Dix, I think it is. And the big one for staff officers, like Stars and Eagles, is at Alabama. There's two war colleges. It's like Enoch and Beanock for us.
Now, my former commanders, the two commanders that were actually really good, were doing war college as a captain, promotable.
There you go. Did he go to Dix?
I don't really recall how that all worked out. I mean,
Speaking
I'm not
of
an
Dix.
officer.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
Try not to freeze my nuts off.
Oh, are you also experiencing the chilly and brisk winter?
It is a crisp 4 degrees out, and with the wind chill, let me check. I believe it says negative 27.
Oh, so
With
that's what it's been here all day, pretty much. We got a high of 13 today.
I think our high was like 3.
Okay. You just said it was 4, though.
Well, that's what the negative 4. My bad.
Negative 4. Okay, that's not terrible.
That's 2 feet up your balls are going 2 feet up your ass when it's that cold.
That's not quite go to ground. We hit negative 20 in Korea, way up in the mountains, in the Chorwan sector, and got the go to ground order. And you just dig in and pray that you don't freeze to death.
Yeah.
So we have some guys in the comments want to know what war college is.
Okay, so for NCOs like Pop and me, we'll go to what's called BNOC and ANOC, Basic Non-Commissioned Officer and Advanced Non-Commissioned Officer, where they teach us all the ins and outs of being good NCOs and senior NCOs. The War College is where the senior officers from promotable captains up learn actual battlefield tactics, learn how to handle major groups of maneuver units of various kinds, learn how to handle their other assets that are in the air or on the ground, their intelligence assets. Each division, for example, has a single battalion of intelligence, or at least that's the old model. I don't know what the new model is. They've got new special brigades. And then at the senior war college level, which I believe is colonels promotable and above, that's where you actually learn to maneuver whole elements like an entire division or an entire corps and so on and so forth Plus, that's where all of their political stuff is done, and they learn all of their secret handshakes and who will give blowjobs and who receives blowjobs and so on and so forth. There's a lot less of that at the NCO academies. I didn't encounter any of the political shit.
That's usually for the Sergeant Major Academy.
Is that Sergeant Major Academy only?
Yeah, that's when they trade in their dignity to become Sergeant Majors. Yeah.
Enoch was a lot of barbecuing, or Beanock was a lot of barbecuing, and Enoch was a lot of coffee and barbecuing.
I gotcha.
For MI, I don't know what infantry was like.
Yeah, I mean, this is just me talking here, but if I was the commander in chief, I would get rid of all of the 4-star, all of the 3-star, and all of the 2-star generals.
Start all over again.
Maybe I'd get rid of all the 1-stars as well, because I'm just going to be honest. West Point and Annapolis, the officers they're putting out are mediocre at best, and I would dare say they're communist thinking.
Yeah,
and I don't need that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I've heard that West Point and the Citadel are basically just Bolshevik institutions now. So,
you bastard.
I know.
There, I said it. Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks. Now drink.
I had to slide one in there. I couldn't go all night without one of those. Come on.
I gotcha.
2 more and Beetledorf shows up.
But here's the thing. All right. This article is saying that, they failed all these audits since 2018. They've been failing audits since the late 90s, but it was not really in the media at all.
Yeah, no, that's accurate.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.